Welcome to the Hooked Pod. You're with Chunk.
And I am the Chippy. And today on the pod we have a very special guest from down here in Albany, Western Australia. It's Callum Dowell, and he is the Muss Lord. Welcome, Callum. How are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad. It's good to be here.
Happy we've got your presence.
I'm really interested in what you guys are doing here, and just great to contribute to it all.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. So we'll get into it. You obviously have your own lure making business. How did that all come about, and how successful is it going to this point? When did it start? You obviously make all your lures by hand.
Give us a rundown on that, Callum.
So it was 2013 or 14. I got a heap of resin and old moulds and a few things from one of the older guys in the tournament scene, and he attempted to make his own muscles, and it was a bit of a scrappy job about it. Anyway, he goes, "You can do it." Gave it to me. Anyway, it sat in the shed for 6 or 7 years, and
You couldn't get excited about it at that stage? Too much fishing going on.
Yeah, it was because the concept was, a Bream's diet is 50% muscles, but there was no muscles in the retail market to buy.
Yep.
It's almost one of those uncharted things where it's like, well, if it hasn't been done before, does that mean it works or not? So
Surely someone's tried it.
yeah, and people have, and
Yeah.
you just never saw any success from it. So it was only when I got a job at the oyster farm, oyster mussel farm, and you're earning pretty crap money down there, to be honest. Yeah, I think they've all gotten a pay rise now, but when it started out, it was real lean pickings, and I'm sitting there, and we're knocking mussels off the floats and everything, and all these big brim are coming to eat the mussels, and I'm going, oh, no, I really just got to get back into this.
Yeah. Where are those moulds hiding?
Yeah. Anyway, no, I dug them out, and they were all kind of really scrappy, like I said. And so I got a couple of mussels off the pylon and took them home and, gutted them and everything, and ran super glue beads around to kind of push them together again.
You take live ones home, do you?
Yeah, I was taking the real deal home.
Yeah.
And then pretty much silicone moulding them.
Yeah.
And the beauty of working down there was you go home in the afternoon, you do an hour or two, do some moulds, do some resin pours, and then you could go back the next morning and go, oh, yeah, that's swimming how I want it to be, or no, that's off to the side or whatever, because I really wanted to make that mussel vibrate through the water as well, just to add a different element to it.
Perfect place to test it every day.
It's just incredible because you go down, if I didn't have that job, I wouldn't have stuck it out.
Yeah.
Because it literally took 3 or 4 months.
Yep.
To really perfect it.
R&D on the water. Perfect. Yeah. Especially where the fish are, if you're catching them, something's going right, don't you?
Especially down there because they're very intelligent down there.
They've got a lot to eat down there,
They see a lot of muleys on hooks and everything like that. So to start really tricking them and getting them the fall of the mussel, how I want it to be with the weight placement in the mould itself, it was really encouraging. And it just kind of all slowly followed from there, yeah.
And you were using at that stage live mussels?
No, I was taking the live mussels home, gutting them, refixing them together, taking a mould of that mussel,
right,
and then resin casting that mould, and work back from there.
What do they do to a live mussel, a bream? Do they just smash it completely? How do they get the meat out of a live mussel?
So another trigger was at the end of the day, if you're fishing a tournament and you've got them in your live well in your boat, base of the live well, there's all these crushed mussel shells that the bream have passed, either regurgitated or crapped out, which shows if they're in a competitive environment, they'll just grab the mussel, crunch it and swallow it.
Really?
Yeah. And just worry about it all later.
And
you notice that with when I started to catch fish on them, the mussel would be hooked on both sides of the mouth, cradled in the mouth. So they've grabbed the whole thing. They haven't just nipped at it.
Yeah.
And you've got both hooks in the mouth. So you're like, well, they
love them.
Yeah, they obviously think it's
a real
deal.
Do they take them more aggressively than a standard lure or soft plastic?
It depends on the scenario.
Day,
the day. Sometimes I'll just pick at it to try try and suck the meat out of a hinge or something. But like I said, if it's a competitive environment, if there's 20 brims swarming on it, one's just going to like completely engulf it and you know, swim off to eat it in peace or just swallow it whole, yeah.
That kick-started the fire in the belly.
Oh, mate, and it was just exciting getting through, you know, long labour days of being like, okay, this is what I need to do to just tinker with it. And I've got a lot of mates that I go fishing with and they use them and just getting feedback from those guys as well that, like, it's not just my biased opinion on how it should be. Like, I had a mate completely change the design when we went. I just took him out for a fish one day and he goes, why don't you just flip it around and do it like that? And you know, did it and that worked really well. Worked better than what I had. And, you know, well, that wouldn't happen if we wouldn't have gone out fishing.
Yeah, well, you always have doubts about something you create yourself and you always think, oh, could I do it a better way? Could I do this? But like you say, if you take people with you who are in the same game and they can come up, you know, give you their feedback, it's got to help, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's just that it's the most exciting time in your life when you're starting an enterprise or becoming an entrepreneur. Is the process leading up to where it is now, where you know, and
it's blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah,
you're always going to end up in the fishing game.
Yeah,
I've known you for a while, and you were never not going to end up there. You know,
it's funny because you do feel lost for a few years in your life, just trying to work out where and how you fit in and what market you can fit into. And you've got all these ideas that you've just got to put together on a table and work out who you are and the direction you want to go with your skills,
One thing I've learned over many years is a niche market is the best market to be in.
Absolutely.
And I would say bream fishing is a pretty niche market. Just looking at your Instagram and going through a lot of your reels and that, you've been with a lot of these guys for a long time in tournaments and fishing and that's your market. And that's what we all have to do when we're in businesses, you know, small business, big business, whatever. You got to find your market and you got to find the niche that works for you.
You know, in saying that, if it was any other marketplace where you invented something on a small scale, you just get eaten up and chewed out within a month.
That's right.
Someone would go to China, someone copy it,
and
you'd just be forgotten about. But with the bream fishing niche, if it was a overall fishing, if I made a big stick bait for, you know, pelagics or something like that, like if I wasn't right onto the social media side of thing, you'd just be forgotten about.
And you guys are just even though bream are all over Australia and the world, I presume there's a few around the world, it's still the bream fishing club, I suppose, is still a small lot of guys and women, obviously, that go out every weekend and do their thing. It's not massive amount of people when you think about it.
No, it's not. And it was unmanageable at the start, but now it's like on top of demand, it's really good because you can deal with people like they're your mates, they're your customer, they're your mate, you know, and you can work with them to create lookalike shellfish for their local areas as well.
What they need and what they want, And you'll obviously listen to lots of good ideas because you want to further enhance it, don't you?
Yeah, and I've since created another 3. I'll say I've got 3 moulds that I run with at the moment. So yes, a larger 42mm mussel, the original size 35mm mussel, and the little mussel, which is a 28mm size.
Smaller one,
Yeah, just to kind of...
Which you love to make because they're a lot smaller?
Oh. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get carpal tunnel. But
it's an intricate field that you're in, isn't it? It's, especially when you're doing them by hand,
Yeah.
Where did you guys start fishing many, many years ago?
Where did we start fishing? Dowley was one of the...
Don't mention the river.
I heard a story about a boat motor once getting smashed up by somebody, and it wasn't even in the water, wasn't it?
Oh, I still remember that like yesterday. I remember looking in the rearview mirror because I was driving,
and it wasn't your motor.
We'd had a few beers the night before.
And that's the thing. It was before Google Maps.
Yeah.
It was. You've heard about a river somewhere.
Yeah. We got to find it.
And do you know, nowadays, like, I wouldn't even consider it. But you're glad you did that stuff when you were young.
It was so good.
You were frontier men trying to find a fish back in the day.
You'd pull out the paper maps and you'd be like, right, got a river there.
How do we get
Surely
there?
we can get there.
Yeah.
You'd be driving along the road. The river's in there somewhere. We know that.
Yeah. Where's the track? There's a track there, over there. Look out.
There's a track. Let's go down that.
And the amount of gates we opened that were closed because of dieback. Just stupid stuff. But,
It's all right. It wasn't raining at the time.
We were only 18, so,
we got some big fish.
It was all on. It was all on the
some-
south coast, obviously, and there is a lot of streams and rivers and everything down here, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Unfortunately, the last few years, it's just been a bit of a decline in rainfall, especially summer rainfall.
Mm.
So there's a few systems. There's Bremer Bay and there's Pallinup, which has had pretty much total fish culls. Pallinup's on its way back. But I do know that they, the commercial fishermen used to do really well out of there, but
They did, yeah.
unfortunately it succumbed to just breaking the banks right on summer, so the water was low, and then during that summer of record low rainfall, it just turned 10 times saltier than...
We were camping down there at that time, and there was dead fish everywhere.
Yeah.
The place was shocking, and it was like that for 2 or 3 years. It was terrible. But yeah, it's been open quite a bit in the last couple of years, and I think it is coming back a bit.
It is. I follow this guy on Instagram, and he goes down there almost every weekend, and he does netting to see the recruitment.
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
And the brim are starting to get about 30 centimetres now.
Yeah.
But they do grow extremely fast in there because of the high salt content.
Yeah, right.
They can grow an extra stomach with the high salt content.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but yeah, it's and obviously because there's not as many bigger fish in there, there's more bait fish and food. And
Yeah.
so this is just what happens. It's been happening ever since.
Mm.
So every system's different with the growth rate.
Yeah. You go to the other side, you go Walpole, which we've got our first competition of the year next month.
Yeah.
They did a survey in 2005, and a mature brim of 25 centimetres took 4.5 years to get there, and they did another survey in 2018. Now it's 7 years.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because
They regulate their growth.
it gets a lot of recreational pressure. So you take the big fish out of the system.
Yeah.
So it's like redfin in a pond. The brood size, like just the school size, they don't need to grow bigger.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they don't need to compete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not getting big breeders there all the time.
Yeah, unfortunately, the last competition we had there, 40 boats. We did 14 hours of fishing, 7 hours, 2 days. The biggest brim was 610 grams.
Uh-huh.
And I reckon if you were to go to somewhere like the Hay River, cast in, you'd catch a 610 gram fish within 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And that
Wow.
was for the whole Walpole system, fish top to bottom. So, but that'll come back at some stage.
Yeah.
And it's just what they all do, and you just go through the cycles and follow the good fish around, I guess.
Yeah. Now, you were a bit of a runner back in your day.
Yep.
Tell us about that. What made you choose fishing over running?
So he's obviously a good runner, was he?
He was a good runner.
Yeah, right.
You went to the Australasian Olympics.
Yeah, I went to an international event. Yeah, when I was a junior, got 3 silvers.
Yep.
Yeah, but running kind of fell into my lap a little bit. When you're a kid and you're in the top 3 in your running and that, but you're not the fastest kid, you kind of got a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, and then all of a sudden you work harder than the kid that's the fastest. And so in high school, I realised I was pretty good at it, and doing the cross countries and all the athletics events, and mainly focusing on middle distance running, 8 and 1500 metres, and then the 10Ks for the port to points and everything like that. And it just kept with me for years, and I think you really need that in your adolescence. You need a sporting hobby or something just to really keep your mind fresh and at ease, because we all go off the rails a little bit, and I was feeling that way inclined, and running really kept me stable. I only just stopped running about 6 months ago.
Oh, really?
So 20 years of running, and
Not for long, Callum. You'll be chasing
the good thing about
a
Masters,
youngster now, I reckon.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it is a few other priorities took over, and you look at it and you look at the Perth Masters running and things like that, and you go, let's just get into it in 10 years' time again. Just keep jogging.
Yep.
Just not doing it competitively.
Yeah.
Making sure the body's happy.
Yeah. I could imagine fishing would be a little bit more enjoyable than running for some of us.
No, you're right, mate. Yeah.
I'm a good walker. I don't know about running. I'm getting too old for that stuff. Now, I got a question for you, Callum. Back in 2018, you put out there on your Instagram that you wanted to catch a 40-inch bream every month. Did you do it?
Oh, 40 centimetre.
Not inch, 40 centimetre. Did you do it?
That particular year, I totally jinxed myself because I got to November and I said that on my Instagram, and you think I could catch a 40 centimetre bream in December?
Never. Well, that's the wrong time of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. But that one will live with me because I don't think I've done it since. That was the times when you could fish whenever you wanted.
Yeah.
There's no family commitments or
That's-
anything like that. But yeah,
You could get
like,
out.
at the moment, I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah.
And a question: your lure making are they only for bream? I saw you down at the harbour one day, and you were going out for blue groper. And I was going to ask you because we were heading out in our boat, and I was going to see what you would going to use for bait for blue groper. Do you use that sort of lure for around the rocks for blue groper, things like that?
That day we actually caught 2 and got busted off by a few more.
Mm.
Not on that mussel though.
No.
That we'll catch them on bigger hard body lures, just running them into the reef, and they're actually really aggressive. Blue groper like that. They don't just eat abalone off the rocks and crabs, and they don't really work. I mean, they probably would, but it's very hard to target them.
But it's all about what they eat, isn't it? I mean, you have to target where they're eating and what their food source is at the time, and you've got to have the right stuff, don't you?
And that's exactly right. That's my business comes in waves like that because all of a sudden they're eating the mussel, and I'm absolutely flat tack.
Yep.
For months trying to catch up, and then it would just fall off a cliff, and you go, I don't think I've sold a lure for a couple of weeks, but you can't take the foot off the pedal. You've got to just keep making your quota every day, because if you go, take 2 or 3 weeks off or whatever, and then
orders can't start coming in,
and then you're stressed, right?
Yeah.
So and that's the thing is every lure has its day. Like whatever the fish are dialed in on. If you're throwing that lure, then
you've got to have the right bait. Well, even if it's a lure, it's still the bait. But you've got to have the right bait to catch the fish, don't you?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you go fishing and what fish you're going for.
Understanding what they need on a certain time of year and tide, and
exactly, yep. And that's why the market just loves them.
Yeah.
Because you can go out there and absolutely brain them, catch 30 or 40 bream in a day and go, I'm so good at fishing.
Yeah.
And then you'll go out there the next day and you won't even get a bite.
Yeah.
Doing this exactly the same thing, exactly the same areas or whatever. And they do get wise to certain lures and sounds as well. Like they know the sound of electric motors in some places where they get a bit peppered.
Really?
So you try to be as quiet as possible, and it's a never-ending learning curve. And also the conditions as well. If you get a southerly wind come in, they'll just go off the bite completely. If you get another day of southerly, they'll just absolutely go off. Like they don't like that brutal condition change.
Yeah.
From hot to cold to cold to hot, they'll just go off the bite. But then if they're not biting and a condition change hits, then you'll probably catch a lot of fish.
Yep.
It's all about timing as well.
Yeah.
Is it always structure with bream?
Not so much. No, the sand flats are really good
Yeah.
at certain times, especially in the late afternoons. You get a bit of wind on the flats.
Yep.
Especially like windy corners where bait fish are kind of in that area, and
Yep.
bream will be all over it.
The bream fishing competitions that you've been in, the pro circuits, what's involved in getting in them? Did you get scouted? I don't know how they work. So do you get scouted like footy type thing, or?
Nah, it's you're off your own back, and if you've got the money and if you've got the gear.
Yeah.
The good thing about the ABT tournaments is you don't even need a boat. You just need a couple of rods.
Yeah.
Tackle box full of lures, and you jump on someone else's boat for the day. The competitions that we're focusing on this year is the teams competitions.
Yep.
Which is great because, you travel as a pair, you split costs, and it's just a really good weekend away. Like, you have a few beers with them on a Friday night and Saturday night and go to the pub in the local town. Like we go to Augusta, Mandurah, Walpole. Yeah, they come down here to Albany.
Yep.
We got our grand final here in Albany this year, so that's always exciting having it in your own backyard.
Yeah. Bit of an advantage for you.
Oh,
if you get there.
I mean, I've never won here.
Oh, really?
I've never won in Albany.
Oh.
I've just blown it that many times.
You need to get back out there fishing, mate.
Yeah. It's the worst thing because, I always do well on one day and then the other day is like a bit of a train wreck.
Yeah.
And I think there's a few mental demons as well that come with that because you just keep going down the same old path.
Not another year like this again.
Yeah. You just you feel the wheels falling off when you lose a couple of fish early. Like one Albany comp last year, I was absolutely cleaning up after day one. And then day two, I lost about 3 good fish early, and I looked at my hook, and my hook was just bent at the tip.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, there's 3 fish blown straight away, and then the bite went off, and then your head starts running.
It just
circles.
Shows you have to be on it all the time.
Absolutely.
Don't you? Yep.
Every tiny little 1% thing has got to line up, and
especially when
and then you're on show because you're fishing against 40 other guys that want it as bad as you.
And you probably only what's a bag? I mean, 5 fish or something like that. I mean,
5.
You need to get 5 good sized fish, and if you lose 1 or 2 of them because of a hook or something, it's disastrous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all weight driven, isn't it?
Yeah, you are fishing against people in your area too, so every opportunity absolutely counts. Usually, the guys that win just take advantage of all their opportunities.
So that's good. That must get the adrenaline going when you get out there. And you've got a new boat, I hear, too.
Yeah, I picked up a new boat early January. Yeah,
that'd be good for fishing.
Oh, yeah, it's a
bigger motor, get you there quicker.
Yeah, it's a 90 Suzuki. It's a 4.6 metre bass sniper.
Good stuff.
I got it second hand, but he'd only done 20 hours.
Wow, 20.
Brand new, just about.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I was
a demo.
Like,
Actually, 20 hours of bream fishing is quite a lot, I suppose.
Well, look, he's got his
couple of good days.
He had this giant hummingbird sounder on it, and I was looking at his maps, and he'd literally been out 3 times.
Oh. Yes. Done the first oil change for you.
Yeah, that might improve your chances down here in Albany, will it?
I think so. You get places a lot quicker.
Yeah. We used to have a 90 on the back of a ski boat up in Perth, and we used to be able to get 2 skiers on it. So a 90 for going bream fishing, that'll get you there pretty quick.
Yeah, it's the shocking thing for people that are unfamiliar with the scene is when they see these awesome big bass boats. Like mine's small compared to those guys that run 250s and 300s.
And they're massive boats, aren't they? Yeah.
And they look at that and you go, you spend $100,000, $200,000 to catch a 30 centimetre bream.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's your passion.
Yeah, exactly.
That is an overkill. But don't worry.
It seems like it, but then it's just so hard to do. Like the reward for the onlooker is just, it doesn't add up to what you put into it.
But you got to forget, you can't forget something. It's a passion. I've had a good look on a few years of your lures now being made, and you've had quite a bit of success in the tournaments. A lot of the guys over east who are pretty big tournament winners have been winning with your lures. How's that been going?
Oh, it's so exciting, right? Probably the biggest influence on the bream fishing scene is Steve Morgan.
Yep.
He live streams his competition days, so you've got a couple of hundred people watching at any time. You'd probably get about 4,000 or 5,000 views per tournament. He's down in Tasmania, and I sent him a couple of dozen. Said, "Oh, here you go. If you want to use them, you can." A bit hesitant, because you're like, I'm not like sponsoring you. Just don't.
Please
pressure.
Use them.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, in a way, that's what I'm thinking, but I'm not.
You're not forcing it upon him, yeah.
Anyway, so he's down in Tasmania, and he's got his bag of bream, and he's starting to fish all the jetties, and he turns around to the camera and says, "I'm going to use one of those mussels that Dowley sent me." And he picks it up and he casts it in, and just bam, gets the biggest bream for the day.
Oh,
for the whole he's winning the competition.
No way.
After the first
Are you
day.
watching this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you just
what were you thinking at that point?
Oh, it's really
quick. I got to go out and make some more lures.
It's insane. It's like it's such a buzz, right?
Yeah.
It's such a buzz, and he would
have been
totally,
jumping up and down.
Holy moly! And the thing is when it's every fisherman gets that when they cast out a new lure or something different or first fish on whatever, and they get a fish straight away, and it's like it's such a different rush compared to the same old mundane like rolling a lure or soft
something new.
Something new,
especially if you're making it, big time.
Yeah, and so he ended up getting third in that competition, but there's been some big names that have caught their biggest brim on the mussel. Steve Starling, he caught his biggest brim on the mussel.
Oh, Starlo? Yeah.
He, he's been brim fishing for 25 years.
Oh, yeah, he's
long time.
He's an icon in Australia. Yeah,
absolutely. And his fourth cast with a mussel, he gets his first ever 2 kilo brim.
Oh wow!
Did he have to buy his mussel, or did he get a free one?
No, he approached me.
Did
he? He said, "I'll give you $200. Just give me a care package." And
fantastic.
And kind of forgot about it. And then I woke up one morning, middle of winter, checked my phone, and Starlo's messaged me, and he goes, "Mate, I don't know what to say. I've just caught my biggest brim ever."
Wow!
And he sent me a photo, and I started bloody welting. Like it's insane. Like one of your idols, like when I was 16, watching him and Bushy do all the Squidgy Secrets.
Yeah. They started.
That's what they're famous for. Yeah.
And then just seeing that he got the biggest brim he's ever caught on and he got it all on film too, so you can look at it on YouTube channel.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. He does a lot of good YouTube stuff. Yeah, I watched a bit of his stuff the other day. It was great. No, he's just an icon. I mean, I'm 60 years of age, and I've been watching him for years. And I'm only just a casual fisherman, but you get some really good tips off the blokes who know they're fishing well.
Those guys like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one of my biggest customers is in the Kuwait area and a part of the middle.
The UAE, isn't it? Is that it?
Middle East, yeah. Oh, UAE, United, yeah.
Arab Emirates? I think that's where Kuwait is. Yes, and they buy a few lures off you?
Well, I've had orders of up to 500 lures, and he should have been, he wants 1,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so is he like the biggest retail shop in there for fishing?
There's a lot of competition. That particular guy, he rewards the original product. Like over in Kuwait, there's actually a lot of copies of my lure. Like they've taken a direct replica of the lure and done their own pouring and their own componentry to the and you can see the difference. Like even if the lure's just lodged in a fish's mouth, I can tell exactly if it's mine or not.
Yeah.
By the colouring as well.
Yeah.
This guy he's been really good to me. He's stuck with me. Obviously, it's a lot dearer.
You make quality, you hand make them yourself, and it's pretty hard to beat something like that.
Yeah, and he does have a very strong following of
and
anglers.
You've done all the R&D as well. I mean, you go out and use them yourself.
Yeah. And that's the other thing as well is those mussels don't vibrate on the lift, so they've obviously just gone, we got to copy it.
Yeah.
And just stuff some bloody componentry in there, and here it is on the shelf.
Yeah. Doesn't perform the same in the water though.
No. Apparently it doesn't.
And have yours won a competition over there?
Yeah. So there was a kayak competition over there, and there was about 50 odd anglers in that competition. It was your biggest 4 fish, I'm fairly sure, tip length.
Yeah.
And the guy that won it, that fish that he won it with, it was a standout 50 centimetre 2-bar brim. It was just an absolutely incredible fish.
Yeah, wow.
What pound line?
I think it was 10 or 12 pound
right.
line.
Yeah, I was going to say it wasn't on a 6, was it?
Nah, they're so elusive over there, like to catch.
I can't even think of where do they go fishing in Kuwait?
Is it inshore?
It's a big bay in Kuwait. So if you look at it on the maps,
and it goes into the Gulf of something or other over there.
It's a big Gulf, bay.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to think of where Kuwait is.
They've got this bridge, and it's 17 kilometres long over the water. It's a concrete bridge. Goes from 4 foot to 80 foot deep.
There's a few pylons there.
Oh yeah, and they've all got the right gear, the sounders, and they just see the fish on the pylons and drop the mussel in and wind them on, and they eat them. They're an incredible source of protein, and they're so plentiful over there. But
Oh, that's great. Any other international places that have the muss meat?
I sent a few to the US, South Africa, France, New Zealand. Yeah, I haven't heard much feedback from those guys, but the thing is a lot of those countries, the bream isn't like it's not an in-demand species. Like
Yeah.
that people,
It's not
like
not a big sport.
Nah, like in America, like if it's not for largemouth bass,
Yeah.
then
Forget
it is
about
the 0.001% of the market. Like, and they've got sheep's head over there, which is like a bream, but it's kind of looks like a bit of a zebra stripe pattern to it. And yeah, there's a few guys that target them, but you kind of you're ridiculed if you really get off on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to Q8, they're a big customer, but unfortunately at the moment they've gone through real weather extremities.
Right.
So in summer it didn't get under 45 degrees for 4 months.
Wow.
During the day, it didn't get under 35 degrees at night.
Holy cow.
It's just because they get a trade wind from the desert and that's it.
Yeah.
And then this winter, then orders started to pick up when it started to cool down a bit, but then winter hit and it hasn't been over 12 degrees for 3 months. And at nights it's negative.
That is the extreme.
Yeah, that's extreme, beyond extreme.
And they're in a concrete jungle, so they cop it.
You'd have to go.
Both ways.
You'd have to go fishing at midnight, and it's still 35 degrees in the summer.
Well, it's a death wish, they reckon. If you go out in that, like it's a different type of heat.
Yeah. Has the 28 millimetre been taken off for you now that you're making a smaller one? What are you targeting with that?
Mainly for guys that are fishing like quieter type of canal systems and low current areas where the bream are a bit more, they're not feeding as hard, but they see this tiny little mussel come past their face and they'll just have a go at it. Well, it gets tough either way. Doesn't matter what the conditions are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the 28 mil along the 35 mil, I would say the 35 is still a more popular option.
Yeah.
Because of New South Wales, around Sydney and Hawkesbury, and even down through Victoria, the 35 mil, that bigger profile mussel still undoes the bigger bream.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hawkesbury must be pretty good, is it? It's got a lot of oysters and that in the Hawkesbury. Yeah, they catch a few bream up there.
Oh, and that place is fishing incredible.
Have you done much fishing over there?
Yeah, I've fished it once and won one tournament over there.
Good on you.
Yeah,
good stuff.
10 years ago now, but it's just incredible. Like, we were fishing the.
I remember it got flooded like a couple of years ago. It got massively flooded, the Hawkesbury. Yeah. What are the bream like over there compared to here? Is there a big difference in it?
They fight so hard.
Really?
Oh, they just pound for pound, hardest fighting fish I've come in contact with. And they hit so hard, right? And you're just totally undergunned. The first few fish just drill you and you go, all right, well, I need to get the pliers out for this drag. But the thing is you can't go any like heavier than like 6 pound because they're so educated and the water's so clear.
Yeah, right.
That
it's really stealth fishing, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's like you're going to lose fish.
Yeah.
When I fished a tournament over there, when they do the summer home and away.
Yeah.
Palm Beach or whatever it's called.
So that's actually on the Hawkesbury.
Yeah.
And we were fishing and I was having a flick at Alf's boat. And I see him filming the set along there and they're all sulking, how they got their heads down and I'm catching fish and going, this is bloody awesome.
Yeah. Send the cameras over this way, you guys. Oh, that's interesting, yeah. Yeah, fishing's great fun. Does the barometer and all that make a difference for your fishing like it does in the ocean?
I always believe if the barometer's either going up or going down, then you're probably not going to have as much luck.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. If it goes down and then it sustains, that's when you're going to catch them. Also, there's a few good cues. So when the kookaburras start going off, if you're not catching fish and the kookaburras start going off, then you're probably going to catch fish. But if you're catching fish, the kookaburras go off, you're probably going to stop catching them because the kookaburras sound on the barometer drop.
Yeah, right.
Rise,
That's crazy.
They also like ham sandwiches, those kookaburras, mate.
Yeah,
I lost one a few years ago at a picnic to a kookaburra.
I love them, mate. It's awesome.
They're great. Yeah.
What's next for the business, mate?
I've got a couple of new lure design ideas.
Yeah.
It's just a challenge at the moment. It's a really busy time of the year.
You just a one-man show?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, being by yourself does make it a challenge, doesn't it? To free up to...
You go through the motions.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like any person who works themselves, sometimes it's really hard to stay motivated.
Yeah.
You go fishing then?
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, but if you develop good habits, you can. It's easy to fall back on that. Like if you feel like you've taken the foot off the pedal, then you go, no. I've still got to make X amount a day.
And the colours, do they make much of a difference on them, or is still predominantly black for the lures?
Some guys have their colours and that's it.
Yep.
Black, green, or I do polls every year just to see where it's at. I'll just get a bit of feedback and what sizes people like the best, and I'll do a giveaway. And then the other one's colour, and black gold is always the most popular colour. So, but it's not by much. Like out of the 4 standard colours, which is black, black blue, black green, and black gold, it's always about 30 to 35% gold. So it's not like it's a landslide.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think it makes much of a difference.
No.
But I think it's just people just believe it does.
Do you make one of your musses now with a rattle in it or anything like that?
Yeah, I do a rattle for all sizes. Like I said about the colours, like sometimes it makes a difference, sometimes it doesn't. I think it really makes a difference if you're the muscle's stuck on a rock or a bit of reef or a pylon. I'll sit there and just rattle my rod tip and wait for Bream to eat it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of good fish I've caught doing that, and a lot of people have got back to me and said that that's their gun technique for certain areas as well.
Yeah.
Because it's just be so natural, wouldn't it? Just a mussel just sitting on a rock, just rattling away and clicking it. Because mussels actually do make that clicking sound.
Yeah.
If you're in an aluminium boat and you're over top of a mussel bed, you'll go hear that click, click.
Yeah.
Through the boat.
Fantastic. Have you made them strong enough for those the East Coast Bream?
Yeah, I've had a few people. 3 years. Probably had maybe a dozen people say, "Oh, look, my muscle got crushed or split," or it's just how it is when you're
White Pointer took it or something.
Yeah,
smashed it.
Oh, yeah. No, I've had some funny ones.
Have you?
Yeah, I've had some ones where I've just gone, I'm not replying to that.
We all get that in business.
Barley's, yeah. Exactly.
Doesn't matter what business you're in.
But it's easier for me because it's all just over a message or whatever. Not you guys where it's face to face with a customer.
Yeah, you still got to keep your customers happy though. But
exactly,
you obviously look after.
But you know when someone's pulling the.
You always look after your good customers. I know that.
Yeah,
that's right.
Now, Dowley, at the end of every episode, we get our guests to recommend a food, a unique food experience that maybe only the audience will experience themselves one day. So what would you recommend?
Going down to the local marina, and it's not really done in WA because we don't have natural. We do have natural spawn oysters, but it happens once every 5 bloody years or whatever. Going down the marina with your wetsuit, picking the oysters off the rocks and eating them.
Yeah.
While you're in your wetsuit.
Love it.
Up to your chin.
While you're in your wetsuit.
Yeah. And just sitting there and just feeling. I love oysters.
Yeah.
And I love the oysters that you guys do as well.
I think this guy wants to become a Bream.
Yeah.
Hey, he's in the water.
Well, I'm on with the Bream. The Bream are
eating mollusks off the rock wall.
He's probably got.
You drop the shell in the water and then having a nibble at it too.
You've probably got hooks hanging off your arm, lifting them up. Check out this.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say mussels.
Almost. I actually did, yeah. But no, I wouldn't eat the mussels, so I wouldn't eat them raw.
We're eating plenty of Albany rock oysters now, and they're pretty good too.
They are good.
Incredible. Yeah, and they're only just going to keep getting better and better with the amount of seagrass in the harbour at the moment.
Yeah. This is the first year we've been able to get them direct, and been sensational for us, and we haven't had any bad feedback at all. So it's
No.
really good for them to be thriving down here now. And these are very tasty though. These Albany ones.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the
Creamy.
The profile is incredible. Like, because when I used to work there, the northern end of the bay, it was where all the seagrass was, and it's quite shallow. So when the tide drops, the oyster bags are sitting on the seagrass.
Is that in Oyster Harbour?
Oyster Harbour, yeah.
Oyster Harbour, yep.
But then you get down the southern end, the oysters are sitting over sand, and you can taste the difference between the ones sitting over the sand and
the seagrass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. Yep, you get that umami texture, taste at the back of your mouth on the seagrass ones. They're still quite creamy.
Yeah.
But it's just a different finishing profile.
Yeah.
And you can tell when, like, because I love getting a dozen and you, oh yeah, that's from there.
Well, we're getting them from out in King George Sound now too, because they've got a lease out there. So we've been getting, and I think they're waiting on some more of them in another month or something. We're going to get them as well. So yeah, the difference. Well, we've noticed the difference in the two different places. The ocean and the estuary. So yeah, but they're good quality and we love them. Thanks, Callum, for coming in today. And if anybody wants to get in touch, they can go to Outback Bremer Baits and see all about the Muss Lures.
Thanks, Dowley.
No, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
And all the best for 25.
Oh, you guys too, yeah.
Keep making lures.